Welcome to She Speaks by Atleta Filipina, our conversations with Filipina champions, co-presented by Medical Advance para sa dysmenorrhea na malala, lala to wala in as fast as 5 minutes. We want to have candid conversations with our athletes on their struggles, wins, and secrets to excellence to inspire others to push limits, rise stronger, and win their own battles in life. I'm Bigo, your host. And for our athlete guest for today, we want to introduce someone who is a former member of the women's national football team but is now co-captaining the women's futsal team who will be playing in the first ever historic FIFA Women's Futsal World Cup that will be hosted here in Manila. And she was named Best Striker and Rookie of the Year in UAAP Season 81 when she played for the LaSalle Lady Booters. And right now, she's a professional football player of Kaya Iloilo FC, which recently won the 2025 PFF Women's League. So let us welcome Alicia Shai del Campo. Hi, Shai!
Hi, Miss B. Thank you for having me. And wow, an introduction right there.
Yes, grabe, ang daming accolades talaga. And being part
uh,
of both the football and the futsal national team, what an amazing feat. And actually, when we're starting the She Speaks podcast, we started off with a fun question that is made for you. So, ito yung tanong ko para sa'yo. So, kung may breakfast of champions, what's your merienda of champions? Tawa ka.
well, I have nothing in mind because I'm a foodie. So I think normally what I would eat normally after a game, it's not good. It's fast food.
Foodie. Fast foodie.
But yeah, fast foodie. But yeah, not recommended for athletes. But then I would normally get a yum burger right after a game, or not every single time, but it's what I look for, like when I'm tired or like when I'm hungry, like parang pang saktong merienda lang. But yeah, I would always get a yum burger from
Pa-sponsor
Jollibee.
naman, Jollibee.
Jollibee.
Baka naman, Jollibee Women's Sports Futsal World Cup.
Sa World Cup.
Yun
But
nga
yeah.
eh. So if ever, since we are welcoming many teams from all over the world to the Philippines, what is the what what Jollibee meal would you recommend to them?
Them, of course, the classic palabok and chicken joy.
Oo. Naalala mo, do you
Cannot
know
beat
the
that.
codes? Di ba meron yun yung
Ah, wala. I don't normally get it kasi. But then, if I were to introduce it to like other countries, like of course palabok. But then, what I would normally get is yung ano yun? Yung full set na meal ng Jollibee.
Oo, may
The
spaghetti, palabok,
may
chicken, may
spaghetti pala.
burger steak!
May burger steak. Yeah,
I
yun. Yung
love
set
it.
na yun.
Yeah, I'm
But
a
yeah.
big burger steak fan.
Oh,
Ayun. So
nabutan niyo po yung
ha?
yung, do you know the ultimate burger steak?
Yes, yung may fries sa
Yes, they should
ilalim.
bring that back. Yeah.
Oo, baka naman
But yeah.
Futsal World Cup.
But
Ayun.
yeah.
Okay, now moving on to yung discussion and naman the reason why we want to we're having you on the podcast because we also want to get to know you more as a football and futsal player and also bring more awareness din to the sport. So, it's really a feat being able to represent the Philippines in both football and futsal. Pero when you were growing up, did you even dream of making the national team back then?
Well, to start off, parang at that time, since I was so young, I didn't have any idea what a national team is. So parang it was more of like a club thing that you play on a Saturday or Sunday, a whole day league basically. And then it's more of like just getting to like experience that um games on a weekend and train every week or even just like once a week, just preparing for that weekend game. But then um when I started to love the game more, I was um how do you say it? Like, wait, what is a term? Like, I saw more opportunities like in football. Like it was like an eye opener for me that there's more to football. So that's where I got the scholarship, and then that's where coaches like Coach Hans, who gave me that scholarship to study in La Salle Zubel, that's where I understood that there's more to like just playing, and there's more opportunities for me. Like that's where he told me about getting into national teams, getting into clubs who can um, bring me more to the bring me more in game that can expose me more outside football. Like, so yeah, so it wasn't really something that I thought that I would be in, but then as I grew up, one of the things that I really wanted to be, I wanted to experience is to be part of the national team, and which I did eventually.
Yeah, and you also grew up in Quezon Province. So can you share more about how your humble beginnings were like, and did you even have any role models to look up to back then?
Well, I didn't start football till I was in Manila already. So it was my mom's province. So I grew up there just having a simple life, being with family, and it's not until I came to Manila where I started my football journey. And yeah, for my people I look up to is um my parents, of course, and my titos and titas who helped me shape who I am today.
Did they also play sports?
No, actually, I think I was the first one who, in my family. Actually, no, it was actually my brother who first started football, and then I eventually just joined for fun. He's my younger brother, and then when he started playing football, I just happened to just join for fun, and eventually I continued playing, and he stopped. So I'm here now.
Oh, yeah. So
But yeah,
you both are like the first few athletes of the
yeah,
family then. So what
yeah.
is that like for the family na did they really support you guys like in every game? Ganun ba yung parents mo?
Yeah, actually, my parents were very supportive of it because I live in San Juan during my younger days, and I would train in army, which is in Taguig area. So we would normally like commute going to training. So it was like a something like special in my heart that my parents like um gave everything just to provide for me. So yeah.
Yeah, and then when you got the scholarship to Zobel, and then eventually you started playing for the LaSalle Lady Booters din. Pero wasn't that like during the time of COVID ba when you were supposed to be like actually progressing in your UAP career?
Well, when I was in high school, um, that was pre-pandemic, right? And then I stayed, uh, since it was a scholarship and it was very far from home, so I had to stay, in the dormitory there. So it was just like a setup for me, or being in a, space where I get to live by myself or with other teammates. And then going into college, it was like a turning point that it's a bigger competition, and then that's when pandemic happened, and then back at home you would always like try to stay fit online. I think everyone tried to do that, right? Tried to stay active, being stuck in their screens all the time. So it was a bummer that we won the championship for my first year. Yeah, as you mentioned, bagging all the awards. It was like something for me that I was looking forward to in my next years, which was my second, third, and fourth sana for LaSalle. But then, pandemic happened, and then um, it was different. It was a different like turning point from being on the peak, because I was also in the national team at that time. So we were representing Philippines for the SEA Games, and then having all those tournaments. Just like I was, for me personally, I felt that it felt so tiring but also fulfilling. Like very, um, for me, I was very proud that I was part of those teams, representing each school, club, and of course the country. So it was a peak for me, getting to experience everything all at the same time. And then that's when the pandemic happened. So it was like, um, as I've said, a bummer. It was really sad that the pandemic happened. But then yeah, slowly we started getting into, um what do you call it? Yung mga ECQ, yung mga
Yeah.
lockdowns that there's still leeway to like go out. So
Yeah.
yeah, eventually you got to touch some grass, and yeah, that moment of like getting back in training was something that it was so hard to like get into, since um being stuck at home lang was very difficult. And yeah, that was for me during the transition from pre-pandemic, pandemic, and post-pandemic.
Ayun, so I think like you were really on a momentum tapos nag-stop because the pandemic. Then you were just trying to get back into it. But before that, can you also just recall like the best moment of being part of the national team, especially yung first time mo? Kasi I'm sure like a lot of young girls want to know how that experience was like for a player.
Actually, hello. Yeah. My first time joining the national team, the senior team, it was something um that I would say that I'm very proud of, because prior to joining the senior team, I tried out for the youth national team. Like um I was there for like three times of like joining U13, U14, like within those within those timeline. But I never got into the youth national team. So that was for me heartbreaking growing up also. But because I really wanted to be part of that national team, especially the youth national team. And then eventually, I focused more on my school team, which is I was in LaSalle, and then club team, which is at that time I was in Green Archers United. So I was focused more on that. That's where eventually I got more exposure, more. I trained a lot more, and that's where I got the opportunity to be part of the national team, which is the senior team. So that's one of the things that I was like, very, very the things that I would always like remember. And yeah, my first tournament with the senior team is where I also scored my first goal for the national team, which is very memorable. But at the same time, it I scored like during the last minute. I was also a sub at that time. Last sub, like I was there for like last 10 minutes of the game, and then I scored my first goal, and we lost by 5. But then I scored that one goal against Jordan. But yeah, it was something that I was like, it felt like surreal, but at the same time, I was like, wow, like this is something I just dreamt of before. But yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and you are a homegrown Filipina pa, diba? So,
yeah,
that's
yeah. I
like,
really worked hard for that.
oh, so nice. And now that you are co-captaining the women's futsal team naman, which is the Filipina Five, for our
Yeah.
upcoming World Cup, like how has that experience been naman for you?
Well, I didn't expect also that Philippines would host the first national, first women's World Cup. Excuse me. Um, I didn't expect also that I would be given the invitation to like join during the first tournament that we hosted here also during last year for the AFF. Yeah, the AFF. And yeah, that was for me something also I was really proud of, and to have that experience again to play futsal, since I would normally play futsal for like school, since it was the thing for back in high school, like the nationals palaro, which I was able to experience as well. So that background itself, I was like, I brought that to this, like to where I am now, to the experience that I had for that AFC, the previous one we had also during January in Uzbekistan, and our last tournament that we had also in China. So yeah, coming in like coming from those experiences, I think I'm really excited for what's to come, which is in November, our first futsal Women's World Cup, which is happening here in the Philippines. It's very monumental.
Yeah, and I'm sure that there were so many transitions and changes that you had to go through also. Even though you had that experience already, parang the team is different, the setup is different, and even training is different. So
Yeah.
what's it like in the practical for you?
I think right now, like what like realistically what's happening is for me personally, I'm balancing football and futsal because that's the reality of football and futsal here in the Philippines, right? But then also it's like how we're able to manage that expectations from both teams, like being able to like attend to the needs of football, like to my club team, and then attend to the needs of the national team, which is something like um we normally do on a monthly basis thing, right? Unlike football, it's like a daily thing. Like we're expected to be there, right? So it's like having that challenge to be attending both teams and practically training twice a day. That's what I'm on right now for the upcoming next months. So I think it'll be something that I'll have to eventually like decide on what to focus more along the road. But then right now I'm just like trying like to get through it by like day by day, like trying to figure out what's there for me. But then yeah, the challenges there are like trying to balance it, trying to balance both sport because football and futsal is very different, and as we all know, it's like um both are very demanding, but at the same time it demands like different things. So yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm sure like you said you're already balancing both your professional football and yung national teams futsal like and also your schedules should be a bit packed now because mag World Cup na.
Yes,
So, what have you guys been
actually.
doing to prepare for the World Cup?
Yeah, actually, like sakto, we just had our invitation I think the other day. So um, they're expecting us to attend training since yeah, we're preparing for the World Cup already. So yeah, we're going to have a camp session, and then I think eventually we're going to go to other countries to prepare, like battle it out with other countries as well, since really there's a demand for it also that they're expecting for national teams to be at par to other countries or even better. So yeah, that preparation there that we're starting this coming week for futsal training, and yeah, exciting times.
Yeah, and also the futsal team, like compared to when you joined the senior national football team, na it has been there. You have veteran players, you have new players, pero the Filipina Five, it's a really new team. So can you talk about like your team culture? Like what are the bright spots of the team, and what are the things that you are planning to work on pa?
Well, with national team, you really can expect who will be there. Like for me personally, like as for me, like I'm not even sure if I'll get into World Cup. But that's me just like crossing my fingers that I really want to be in the World Cup. But then it's in the national team, like your seat is not reserved for you. It's always like you battle it out. You they demand from you that they're expecting your top performance every single time in training, in the competitions. So yeah, like being with the national team, you always get new teammates or like but there will always be a set of like a core team there that would always lead the team. And luckily for me, I've been there ever since the team like got rebranded in a way, but then it for the World Cup. So luckily for me, I'm part of that team who's been in the competitions for the past months. And I guess the culture of the team that we're building right now is to have that set of um like minds that we're all on the same page. We're all eyeing on the same goal. Um, we need to be more accountable, respectful, have more grit. It's just like every other team that you have that expectation of. But then this one for this futsal team, I think what we're trying to build here is more of um like alam mo yung puso eh. Like I know in Filipinas they built the team from ground up, right? And then that's what we're trying to build here also for futsal. Like it's a new team, new set of players, new set of cultures, and just bringing it all in together. And hopefully, with the upcoming like trainings, we would grow more together.
Yeah, and so you shared a lot about being a professional football player, being part of the two national teams also. And here on She Speaks by Atleta Filipina, we celebrate not just like what you have like achieved on court, but also like off court. So can you share like what is the hardest thing about being a professional football player and balancing it with like the rest of your life then?
Well, I just recently graduated from college, and it was actually a long feat for me since I got caught with the pandemic. Like along the way, I decided to take an LOA, and those stuff this just came with like being an athlete, like a student athlete for me at that time. And just now recently graduating and with a course of early childhood education. So I'm an early childhood teacher, which is I'm a preschool teacher. So I would work also from time to time to like tutor kids, and yeah, so or also I would coach kids also at the same time. So it's just like right now I'm like trying to figure out how to balance like work and at the same time focusing on being an athlete and focusing on the national team. So yeah, that for me is like a challenge right now, trying to figure out like what career I should go into, knowing that I'm in adulthood right now.
Yeah,
So yeah,
so how are you able to like, keep yourself focused then kasi I think like we always want to like move on to like next season or think about what's next, but like how do you make sure that you're focused that okay, I'm playing futsal, I'm playing professional football right now, ganon.
I think for me it's just like what I'm used to growing up, because like growing up as an athlete, you get that experience that you're always like looking ahead. You know what I mean? Like you're always like trying to um focus on what's there for you, for you know what I'm trying to say. Like as an athlete, that it's hard, but at the same time it's fulfilling. So I think there will be challenges along the way, but it's how that I'm so used to like having these like set of challenges that uh sorry my cat.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Meow.
sorry. But then yeah, it's like I'm just so used to how I would just adjust to like different adversities that comes along my way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's what you have built na from sports, no?
Yeah. I think it's the discipline that comes with it.
Dysmenorrhea? Ang pain na malala, mawawala with Medical Advance 400. Lala?
Wala.
Unilab yan.
Moving on also to like women's futsal in general because like honestly when you still go to the provinces which I've been to like for example sa Visayas, Mindanao na sometimes football and futsal leagues get cancelled because of the lack of players din, diba? Like hindi mabuo yung roster and all that. So aside from that, what do you think are the other challenges in women's futsal today?
I think the lack of like tournaments or like
Okay.
exposure for these players to like um to get exposed to. Like recently we just had a futsal tournament on a Sunday, um, like where they gathered teams from different clubs, right? So that was for me something that a good exposure for futsal teams to like see the competition, that there is competition in futsal, especially that there's an like in like upcoming World Cup, which my our head coach watched at the same during that time. So seeing that way that our coach was there to like see those players like compete against each other. So you see how it's effective that there's exposure for these players. So I guess for other places, like especially in the provinces, like I'm well aware of that. They do have competitions. They do have tournaments or like leagues. But then I think it's the programs that um are there people who are looking into those tournaments that can have what do you say, what do you call that, like a like connection to the federation. Or I think that's what they're trying to do right now, that our coaches also in the national team, they're going to the provinces, they're trying to look out for players, having tryouts and stuff like that. So I think from like there has been progress ever since then, that when we started this journey, like or starting this journey for the Women's World Cup, that they're doing something right now to have it more exposure for the girls and for the boys as well.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
for that futsal tournament by the Women's Football Association.
Yeah.
Would you say that
Association.
yeah, like would you say that there are more leagues for men's futsal compared to women's futsal?
I think right now, like the only league I know of like that's consistent is the High Five Futsal League, which is like they also cater to men's futsal teams. But then I think other than that, like you would just normally see day cup, like like whole day cup tournament. That's just it. That's just about it. And hopefully there will be more leagues, like consistent leagues. Like to be honest, like they should tap into um like UAP teams. They should tap into futsal as well. Because like for my experience also, like coming into like from a high school team who's focused more on futsal tournaments, because you're right, 'di ba? Parang right before we graduate, there's this thing called Palarong Pambansa.
Yeah.
So right before we graduate high school, for women's, we focus more on futsal. Imagine coming in from a futsal like um for that school year, and then eventually going into college, it's football. So there are some players like who are having a hard time transitioning from futsal to football. So those like programs, like thinking like um what can we do for those players who are really good at this sport but then will have a hard time transitioning to this sport. So like you just think about those stuff, like programs like that, adjusting to the what these players are, what strengths do they have. So yeah, like I think more, there should be more, like not just like having leagues. It's more of like what's the continuity of this. Do you know where I'm getting at? So yeah, it's just like the thing for me ever since I was in high school, because also in high school or even in college until now, there's WNCAA, but like comparing it to UAP, it's something that like for me, a lot of players like going into college, that I wanted to play UAP. Like that's my dream also, like going into college, like I want to play UAP. That's something I really want to play. But also like there are some players who want to play futsal, and like given that choice to like, do I play in a team that plays football or do I play in a team that plays futsal? Because there's not a lot of opportunities for that, because there are only a few teams that would only play football and that would only play futsal. But yeah, it doesn't go hand in hand, because you really have to make a choice for that, right? So yeah, there are challenges in those stuff that um a lot of players like would have a hard time deciding on. Because if I were given a choice, diba, like I would also want to play futsal. not just play football. Yeah. But yeah, it's a challenge of like deciding which route you should go to.
So
Yeah,
dapat
sorry.
may UAAP
Sorry.
futsal. So dapat may UAAP
Yeah,
futsal, ganon. Tapos
I
ikaw yung
think yeah, because there
commissioner.
are not yet. I'm focused on playing. But yeah, like you see where I'm getting at. Like especially now, like do you remember that talk where we went to? Like we met Jaime. You remember the futsal tournament?
Yes.
Yeah. So that talk where I learned a lot about him also, like how he was saying how this futsal tournament, how this World Cup is not just for this World Cup. It's like for future generations. It's like it won't end in the World Cup itself. Like it's for opening up more facilities, more making more teams, creating more um tournaments for the country itself. So yeah, so I really admired how he talked about the opportunities for the Philippines after this World Cup, not just during the World Cup. So yeah, that was something for me that really stuck in my head after that talk.
Yeah, and it's funny because now in the Philippines, we are a basketball nation. We have so many basketball courts, indoor courts. Ngayon, multi-purpose court because ginagawang volleyball
Pickleball.
and pickleball pa. So I think we need to add lines for futsal.
Yeah. Actually, yun nga, dapat like um it starts with the like small communities. Like, like, to be honest, dapat yung mga liga sa mga barangay, dapat they shouldn't just stop sa basketball and volleyball. Like, they should tap into more, like, other sports. Like, I wouldn't say just like, they should add futsal. Like, they should add football. Like, it should be more, like, open to other areas or other sports that Filipinos could also, like, thrive in. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think because like with you and the rest of the Filipina Five, you're now on like social media, even in guesting in She Speaks by Atleta Filipina, you're able to be the representation of like Filipinas and inspirations din to young girls din. So how can our fellow Filipinos and these young girls support you guys in the upcoming World Cup?
Since everyone is in social media, I think the one thing they can like support us with is like to like especially itong upcoming, diba? There's this like volunteer for the Women's World Cup. I think that would be an experience for everyone to like to join and have that uh sight that it's not just about playing the sport. There's also like something behind the sport, like more on like logistics, like management, administrative work, where there are a lot like more areas to like work into. You know what I mean? So I think given that opportunity for the space to like should like try to look into that, and yeah, that's how they can support also. And of course, yeah, posting, of course, it goes a long way, and hopefully um more buzz will like like put life into this upcoming World Cup. So, because since it's going to be a very big event that people will be curious to like to know about, and especially what the Filipinas did for the first World Cup, right? So imagine that happening here in the Philippines. So more teams, more different cultures, different countries will be coming here in the Philippines. So imagine the traffic pa lang at that time. So gets parang it will really create something that will make people curious. So yeah, get to know more about like what will happen and what um the team is doing right now to like get into that like stage. So yeah.
Yeah, and you said that there are a lot of top level teams and countries that will be coming to the Philippines then. So, like what should Filipinos know about these countries? Who should we like look forward to like watching? And aside from cheering for the Filipina Five, syempre.
There are a lot to expect from the other countries because like other countries are well known to be like a football country or like a futsal country. So expecting that competition pa lang na they're going to be so good at it. So yeah, like I can mention a team that would be like uh ang galing nitong team na to sa football. So let's say Japan. Like hearing that name pa lang that they're going to be in the competition is something that me, if I was a spectator, I would be so excited if Philippines would go against Japan. So hearing those like competition against other countries or like even countries from um especially countries like Portugal or Brazil or like other European countries that are really good in futsal, like you hear that their level pa lang is something that you expect a top quality is something that me as a player and as a spectator that I'll have a hard time and fun time playing and watching them. So yeah, like I think it's really exciting to have those teams come here and bring in those culture, bring in that love for the game and just present this thing that they all love, which is the love for the game.
Yeah, and do you guys have any initiatives or upcoming games naman before the World Cup?
From what I know, we're going to have like tune-up games lang, like but in another country. But then hopefully that pushes through. But then aside from that, we're just going to have like camps here in the Philippines preparing for, of course, the World Cup. But yeah, hopefully there will be tournaments. But as of now, I think there's none in the calendar in the upcoming month of September. But yeah,
Yeah, so what people could do is just follow you guys on social media and also sign
yeah.
up to volunteer because it's a big event also, and baka they'll be able to meet like the biggest futsal world stars din, di ba?
Yeah, it's
Ayun.
also for like networking also. Yeah.
So, yun, Shai, like we have this, if you're wondering what this is, so this is a fishbowl full of questions. So this is for the Atleta Filipina rapid fire segment. So I'm actually going to be picking random questions. Then you actually have to answer like what's the number one thing on top of your mind and answer it as quickly as possible. So this is a very fun segment lang. Are you ready?
I suck with answering questions.
What? You just answered so many of my
I
questions.
know, but then stuff like I need to answer on the spot. Like it's harder.
Ah, ano na,
But yeah, I'll try my
sige.
best.
Sige, no pressure. Pero athlete ka naman. That's the discipline.
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. First question. What's one moment in your career where you felt like you were breaking barriers for women in sports?
Mm. See?
The pressure
What do you
siya.
mean? What do you mean we're breaking barriers? Like,
Ano,
sorry.
like what you're making history for women in sport, like this has never been done before, ganon.
I think it's just about to happen. It's like for this World Cup. I think that's something that I really want to be part of. That I'll be able to like be part of a team that's making history and being part of the first futsal team that will play for the first Women's World Cup. I think that's something that I really like. I'm dreaming of as a player. But then yeah, I think for past experiences, I think it's always like just building a name for the team and like especially for football team at that time. So imagine like starting the team from ground up, like making a name for ourselves. And yeah, that was something that especially during the SEA Games 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was for me like uh, an experience that uh our country was able to like experience since the tournament was held here. Yeah.
Yeah, that was by far the biggest SEA Games that was ever hosted in history also. So, galing ng
Yes.
Pilipinas. Here, the next question is, do you prefer playing in front of a home crowd or an away crowd?
Home crowd, of course. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, home crowd.
All right. Okay, so
Uh,
here another question. What's your ultimate sports bucket list item? So it's like, what else do you want to achieve pa or do in the field of sports?
to win the World Cup. That's
Yay!
that's a big ambition, but I don't, just to
Yes.
like yeah, represent the country is enough.
Aw, that's true. As in, kakayanin talaga. Like, we've done it in 2023
Yeah,
and now
yeah.
2025. So, there's more years to come. Ayun. O sige, one more. Okay. This is, so how do you encourage yourself when you are in a slump or losing streak?
I would always tell myself that it's okay, and I would always like look at the future and say that the next one. Because in football, there's this saying that it's like whenever, like for me, whenever I make a mistake, I would always say it's okay, next one. Like that's the line that we would always say, like to each other with our teammates that it's okay, next one, next one. So next touch or next pass or next shot, you can get the next one. So yeah, that's one saying also that I live by.
All right. Ayun. So, thank you for sharing, Shai. And just to wrap up the episode, can you share an encouragement or your final message to our listeners and viewers?
Of course, thank you, Miss B, for having me. This is such a like a fruitful conversation that we had, opening up more emotional like side of me and my passion for this sport. And I really want to thank you, Anna, for giving me this platform to talk about the sport and my love for the game, and of course for this upcoming World Cup. I hope the viewers will support us more, Filipina Five, and see the the opportunities that the sport has for every single girl, every single boy, or even those who are just watching. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you for the kind word, Shai. So, to our listeners and viewers, don't forget to follow Filipina Five and Shai del Campo. And also follow us at Atleta Filipina, our social media accounts, for more She Speaks episodes and also our features on Filipina athletes, especially for the upcoming FIFA Women's Futsal World Cup. And this season is co-presented by Medical Advance para sa dysmenorrhea na malala, lala to wala in as fast as 5 minutes. Again, I'm Bigo, your host. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Bye!